are on India Today podcasts and you are in the sledging room. Akshay's phone has been confiscated today. Why? What happened?
Because I'll be charged up today. I don't need extra charge from my
No,
phone.
there was a glitch with your phone.
Yeah.
There was a glitch with you last afternoon. And today Anna, the producer, said, you know what? Hand it to me.
Yeah.
And she just took it and walked away. Any confidential information?
Keep lock is there.
Chalo, but as long as the phone is in safe hands and India's prospects in safe hands, we are obviously talking about the final of the World Test Championship between India and Australia. They
At the
are
Oval.
going to face off at the Oval. Very different conditions to what they've been used to.
Yes.
India have been dominant against Australia since 2016, but that's already well known.
Yeah.
They won the last 4 series, 2 at home, 2 away, down under. But Akshay, sort of just hours away from this very exciting test match. We've spoken enough about the rivalries, we've spoken enough about the conditions, we've spoken enough about the playing 11. But first off, Saurabh, is this now of primary importance for India to go back to the Virat Kohli school of cricket, right? For the uninitiated, we'll just delve right into it.
Yes.
What is the Virat Kohli school of cricket? Gutsy, aggressive, in your face. And that has worked against Australia. That has worked against different teams in different countries.
Yes.
Where has that gone missing? I mean, he's not captain anymore.
Not the captain. Ravi Shastri is not the coach.
But we need that back.
We need that back. I mean, if you look at the overseas success of Indian team under Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri, it was not just because of the bowlers. It was also because of this school of cricket that Virat Kohli and his teammates used to follow. Right in your face. They will give it back to you at that very moment. And not just with words, with their performance also.
Exactly.
They knew how to give it back. The bowlers knew how to pick wickets. I mean, who can forget that Virat Kohli dressing room speech when he was talking about let's make it hell for them.
Yes.
One session and India won that match. Nobody had expected India to win that match. Did we expect India to win that game? I did not expect.
Are you talking about the London Test?
Yes, I'm talking about the London
The
Test.
Lord's Test match, yeah.
India went to Australia.
Yeah.
Yes, they did not have Steve Smith and David Warner, but still Australia. No other team in last 10 years has done what
No,
India
they had a pretty solid bowling lineup even
Yes,
then.
and no other team has been able to intimidate. I will use the word intimidate because Indian team did intimidate that Australian lineup and defeated first series win for India, Test series win in Australia under Virat Kohli, and that was also primarily because of Virat Kohli's school of cricket.
And why this sudden need for the Kohli school of cricket? You know, when you switch on to the sledging room, sometimes I'm sure our listeners, our viewers are kind of disoriented. Like, wait, what now?
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. Even I am disoriented.
I'll tell you why you're disoriented.
Because every time we sit here talk about Virat Kohli, it has been negative.
No. Format based. T20 Virat Kohli is different.
Maybe I used a harsh word, but
T20
criticism, most times criticism, sometimes unfair criticism, sometimes uncalled for
There's
criticism.
nothing called unfair criticism.
And there are two sides of the coin. Right? You can look at it whichever way you want. But the fact is, like Saurabh said, there's no unfair criticism. Virat Kohli in T20, boss.
Yeah.
Let's keep that aside for now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a different ballgame.
Yesterday, we used pre-podcast data to, corner me. Somebody cornered me saying that, I said that I'll speak in favor of Australia and all that. But Raj, do you remember what you said a couple of days ago? When did Virat Kohli begin training for WTC? Tell me. In the IPL.
Yes. No, I mean, he said he wanted to stay true to his technique. Well, let's see where that takes him.
Yeah.
But why this Kohli school of cricket? Because even last time, early this year, when Australia came to India, Alan Border, like we've already mentioned in the podcast, in different stories that we've done on our site, wasn't impressed with Steve Smith showing the thumbs up to India's bowlers. Too friendly.
Yeah.
But, I was writing the preview to this final. And I just went back and I, raced my memory back. 2014-15 wasn't all that friendly.
Yeah.
Not at all.
2016, we've already spoken about how hostile things were in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Even in 2018, by the way, words exchanged between Tim Payne, Virat Kohli, Rishabh Pant and Tim Payne, all been good, probably good banter. Even 2020, 2021, right? India obviously missed Kohli after the first test match, spate of injuries.
Yeah.
But look at the way the former Aussies came down. Then there were all these ridiculous COVID rules that kind of prevented India from training, doing the things that they would have liked to do in quarantine.
Yeah.
It was insane, but they battled all of that.
At least India didn't complain saying that it's
exactly.
we call it void, like how Stuart Broad said.
But look at how the 2023 BGT series was played out.
Yeah.
Very good natured. Pat Cummins, I think, let me, might sound a little harsh, but all this good boy act under Tim Payne probably got a little carried away under Pat Cummins because just too many smiles, just too soft.
Yeah.
Now, I think that has also dissuaded Virat Kohli from really expressing himself on the field. The last 2 or 3 series, in 2016, Kohli didn't score too many runs.
Yeah.
2018-19, he was in decent form. 2020, he obviously played that one test match.
Yeah.
And then again the series. Until Ahmedabad, he had little to show for.
Yeah.
And that is why he needed ultra aggression. And that is where the Pacers feed of Kohli's aggression is where.
Absolutely.
Siraj and
absolutely
Shami.
right. Yes.
In 2014, I still remember, Raj, Dhoni was injured for the first test in Adelaide. And that was his last series, also MS Dhoni's last series. But he didn't, he was out.
Last
and then,
test series.
Last test series.
Yeah.
And then
His last series hasn't come. Dhoni's last series is yet to be.
he had to come. Yes. So when Dhoni was out, Virat was handed the captaincy. That time Ravi Shastri was the team director.
Yes.
He was not the coach, but that started the Shaz ball, if you want to call it like that. People are talking about baseball these days, but I think we started it way back.
Yes.
That we went for a 300 plus target in Adelaide, if I'm not wrong.
340 odd, right?
340, and we nearly got there. And that is how, they started giving it back. They said, we are here to win. Let's not think about draw. Let's first go for the win. Even if we take losses on the way, it's fine. And they have lived to that, to that mantra that they, in South Africa, we played on tough wickets, but they went for the wins. They lost by, small margins in 2017-18, I'm talking about. Not the 2022 series, when the slide started. But that 2014 series set the ball rolling for what that Virat Kohli's A was. In fact, there was an unfortunate accident where Phil Hughes died, and then people were talking about whether Australia would be aggressive, whether they will bowl those bouncers. But the first few balls that Mitchell Johnson bowled to Virat Kohli, one hit him on the helmet.
Yeah.
And Australians did not back away from what they wanted to do, and India gave it back, and that was so refreshing to see, especially after the manner in which MS Dhoni led teams in 2012. That must be one of the most painful memories for an Indian fan. Watching India get battered overseas without a fight. That was something that was not. That did not look good.
That landscape changed for India in overseas test matches since then. It's been almost 10 years to the day, by the way. That has sort of changed. Yes. Now India are competitive travelers outside, and that is why we are harping on this Virat Kohli school of cricket.
Yes.
Just don't say competitive travelers. They are the best travelers right now.
Yeah, that is how you put out competitive travelers. You also have to win one series after another.
Exactly. Right? Who else is doing it?
South Africa did it for a significant period of time before India took over. That Amla Smith era.
Yes.
But here's the thing, right? India started that journey around the 2014-15 tour. Yes, it was Dhoni's last test series as captain, test series as player. Now look where Virat Kohli took that team to.
Exactly.
You go to South Africa, you're competitive.
Yeah.
You could have won probably, you could have won the series 2-1. That first test match defeat was very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Before that, they went to England.
Yeah.
They lost 4-1, but they could have easily probably drawn that series 2-1. Who knows? Could have even won it 3-2. That was again 2018. And then things changed towards the end of 2018-19 when they won and beat Australia. Yeah. I think that spunk has somehow gone missing. That spark is gone.
Yeah.
Is it because
spark is missing? Yes.
That spark is missing. Look at and this takes us back to one of our first episodes on the Sledging Room, where we spoke of how under Dravid, under Paras Mahamre, the same set of pace bowlers have failed to deliver. And that is why it's going to be a test for Dravid and his staff also.
Exactly.
Right? Shami, Siraj, obviously there's no Bumrah, but Umesh. So you'll have these three guys, either or Shardul, to do that. You lost the momentum in Johannesburg and in Cape Town. And then again in Birmingham. So those three test defeats will really hurt India that were already part of the same WTC cycle.
Yeah.
that is where these guys have to come back, Saurabh. And that is where you need to let Virat Kohli go loose. And that's what we discussed in the BGT as well. Right? Virat Kohli was probably a little more reticent. He was a little quiet. And even the Aussies, they don't like talking to him. But that is where you need for him to express himself so that the Pacers can feed off him.
Absolutely. If you look at how Virat Kohli's team used to win matches and what has happened after he stepped down as the captain of Indian cricket team.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't look like the side who can pick 20 wickets, who can win matches in overseas conditions.
Yeah.
England defeated us. South Africa defeated us.
Chasing on both times.
Chasing both, and yes, and it was we were proud of our bowlers.
Yeah.
We used to pick those 20 wickets. We used to defend small targets in the fourth innings.
Yes.
And that just went off after Shastri and Kohli era got over.
Yeah.
And you have to ask questions of exactly Rahul Dravid, Paras Mahabre, what is wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday I was hearing to what Rahul Dravid said. He is like, we do not feel any pressure of not winning any IC title.
Is how you start?
How does that
He
work?
should feel the pressure.
Yes.
The Indian team should feel the pressure.
How does that work? You are the coach of Indian cricket team, one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
You have not won an IC title for 10 years.
Yeah.
You have been India coach for more than 1.5 years. You lost 2 T20 World Cup. No, 1 T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
You lost in the. Now you're playing the final. If you can't win that, you don't feel the pressure.
Yeah.
What are you doing there?
No, but sort of, that's a good point that you brought up, and that is what I don't like about the way Indian cricketers come out and express. Why can't you be honest and say that yes, we are under pressure, we want to win this? Yes. I mean, you should be under pressure. 2013 was the last time you won an ICC event. Yeah. How many opportunities did you get after that? 2014, completely outplayed in the final against Sri Lanka. 2017, completely outplayed against Pakistan. 2021, completely outplayed by New Zealand.
Yes.
And this is another opportunity.
Yes.
And this is also 20 years after you lost an ODI World Cup to Australia, but that was, many
ODI
years
World Cup
back.
final.
Yes. Men's World Cup, yes.
That was like, 2 decades back.
2 decades
that was
back.
a different
I get
Australian
that.
team.
I'm saying that you need to assert yourselves as dominant world teams. And you cannot go out there and say, look at the way the Australians are talking about it. How many? I mean, probably a few have said that you need a 3-test series. I think David Warner was
David
one of
Warner
them.
said it. Yes.
But I mean, largely the Indian team is harping on the need for a 3-test match series. No, it's what the format is, right? You play the format.
Yeah.
You play the conditions. Why are you already talking about how it should be a 3-match series? No, it is not. It is a final.
That's what.
Why
that
you
is the
don't
fun,
have-
right?
And
That
you
is the
don't
beauty of this game.
And do you have 3 matches, 3-match finals for ODI World Cups?
No.
Why should you have 3?
CB series we had.
See, you had one for CB series, then you could have
2008,
argued one for the
2009.
World Cup also.
Yeah.
What is this? Final is
there
a
was
final.
like when Saurabh brought up that question that Rahul Dravid said that we are not feeling pressure to win an ICC tournament, or exactly we are not feeling pressure of not having won an ICC tournament.
They should feel the pressure.
But he was asked another question also. A lot of people in the lead up to the World Test Championship final are saying that India are not the favourites and Australia have the slight edge. He was asked about that also. He said, we don't care about what people are saying about favourites or not. Sometimes when there is no hype, it's okay.
This is where Ravi Shastri would have made all the difference.
Exactly.
He said, pitch bhaad mein jaye, opinions bhaad mein jaye. By the way, Ravi Shastri was also one of the men opinionating
Yes.
on the final, which is, I mean, he's obviously a revered expert.
Yeah. Had he been, he would have been that, that face of the team, He would have taken the bullets in the press conference itself. He would have fired the team up.
Yes.
He would have said something
And
very dramatic.
Yeah.
as a senior leader in the team, you have to come out and say, yes, we are here to win the title.
Yeah.
We'll give it our best shot.
Yes.
My boys are ready.
Yeah.
No, we don't feel the pressure. Why don't you feel the pressure?
should feel
The entire nation is hoping and praying that you win a title.
Exactly.
10 years ago, MS Dhoni. And what is wrong with this Indian team?
I think he should have said, we here to win. At least.
here to
We
win.
here to
Exactly,
win. Yes,
something along those
exactly.
lines. But if they're here to win, I mean, I'm sure they're there to win. But, okay, keep that aside. I mean, there will be statements made, there will be words said, probably mind games. Maybe mind games are different now. Maybe teams want to approach cricket differently now. Maybe there'll be new smiles. Maybe there'll be more warmth,
But
more
look
fuzzy
at
feelings.
Look at the same England, Raj. Look at the same England, how they are making those statements. We are going to play baseball.
Yeah.
We are not going to hold ourselves back. Ahead of an Ashes.
Wait till an embarrassment.
Okay, that's fine. But
Wait till they take that
still, ahead of an Ashes.
Listen,
saying that itself takes guts.
I know we're deviating, but once this baseball implodes against the Aussies, wait for the English media to pounce on that.
We have been
I mean,
saying
that
this
is
on
what...
I started by saying
By
this
the
on
way,
Sledging Room when we started.
Do you want baseball to implode?
I want.
I don't
to.
I don't
No, I mean, why not? It'll be fun.
It's not like I don't want it, but I want them to succeed. That's it.
I want them to fail at least once so that they could really taste what happens when you lose. I want to see what they do after losing.
I mean, I want every
series.
test team to fail against India. But
absolutely.
the baseball
Please.
in the Ashes, it'll be interesting.
Yes.
It'll
Yes,
be
you know, from the time we started the sledging room, which is like 1 year, we're going to complete 1 year. We started wanting the baseball to fail at the start. It has still not failed. 11 wins out of 13.
No, but we also said wait for Australia, wait for India. Now Australia's coming up.
Yeah.
So in a few days from now, literally a few days from now.
But it's refreshing to see what Kohli said, right? Ahead of the World Test Championship final. You know, Ravi Shastri, former head coach, he said Kohli wakes up differently when he faces Australia.
Yes.
And Kohli itself said, you know, to beat an ultra competitive side like them, you know, he said that when Australians see a small window, they will always break it open. And you need that extra aggression.
But you need to walk the talk. I mean, Virat has done that for years and years. It will be unfair to ever ask questions of Virat Kohli's approach against Australia. But off late, seriously, he now needs to walk the talk.
186 in
that
Ahmedabad.
186, as good a knock as that was, it wasn't on the most dangerous of pitches. It wasn't against the most experienced Australian bowling lineup. So we'll keep that aside for a while. I mean, I know that's his best test score against Australia. He's played much better test knocks against the Aussies.
Exactly.
And he needs to do that now. I mean, look, there is no going back now. You know, you're just hours away from the biggest test battle. Imagine this is a sandwich between the most competitive IPL ever played and the ODI World Cup, which is just a few months down the line.
Yeah.
Ideally, we wouldn't have been talking so much of test cricket now.
Yeah.
But that is the tone and the tenor of this contest. You know, this is all test supremacy.
Yeah.
You can go back 20 years, you can go back 40 years, you can go back to 2016 and say that, look, you know, India won all those 4 test series against Australia, but this match will give them bragging rights.
But that's exactly what Rahul Dravid said yesterday. Right? That he said that one match will not determine the way that we have played over the last 4 years.
That is why you haven't won these championships for so many years. You go on to the ODI World Cup, you win, you lose the semi-final, then you say, no, one match cannot define us. Boss, tournaments have got to define you.
I think Rahul Dravid does not talk like a man who has captained Indian team.
Yeah.
You remember, I will quote Imran Khan and Pakistan 1992 World Cup. They were not a very good team. He fired them up, the corner Tigers, they came back. They won those two matches, that semi-final against New Zealand, I think, and the final against England. And that etched Imran Khan and Pakistan's name in the history.
Yeah.
We were not the favourites to win the inaugural T20 World Cup. MS Dhoni was the captain. Nobody expected us to go in the final also. We won the title.
Yeah.
And look how MS Dhoni has done since then. Why does Rahul Dravid talk like this?
No, you're right. I mean, look, Tsitsipas and Zverev, they're not going to come up and say that, you know, one tournament cannot define us, and then you have Rafa Nadal winning 22 Grand Slam titles, Djokovic winning 22. Then take away Federer's 20 Grand Slam titles also and say that, you know, Michael Chang was as good as Federer because one tournament cannot define you. And they won 22 tournaments, Grand Slam trophies. I mean, come on, right? Why do you talk of Australia as the second set of invincibles? 5 ODI World Cups. That is crazy. That's crazy. India have done well to reach 2 consecutive WTC finals. But look, nobody remembers the second ranked teams.
Yeah.
And that is why the West Indies were so feared. They would win test matches everywhere.
Except for the 2003 World Cup, we remember India very well.
Exactly. I mean, you can't go back and... How many of us would really go back and talk of 2003? I remember that tournament, but it also hurt because, you know, India played so well and then you just were not competitive enough. Forget winning that final. You were not even competitive. But at least Ganguly was honest enough to admit that, look, there were nerves. We were not prepared for the final. Nobody had played such a big final.
Not the 1 hour of bad cricket bullshit.
Yeah.
That didn't come.
That nonsense
there were no
has to stop.
excuses. But look at we might, for all you know, we might end up winning this World Test Championship. But the build-up, I mean, you need a little more zap than that, right?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you both one question. Were India lucky to qualify for this final?
I don't think so.
Considering the overseas losses that we have had.
But if you look by that in that way, even New Zealand won the last WTC. They were not a very good team overseas. They were not a very good travelling team.
Yes.
But they made sure they win matches at home. They qualified the final. And then there was an Indian team under Virat Kohli. They beat them. Yeah. They won the title. Yeah. So that is how it has worked. You win,
that is how tournaments are.
Yes, you have to have the most points. You have to top the table or be second in the table. You reach the final. That is how it works. So I will not say that we are lucky.
No,
Yes, we could have been better. I would say we could have been better.
and I think India have been superb. I mean, look at the WTC cycle. What did you do? You drew a test series in England. How many teams have done that?
Could have won that.
Yeah, could have won the series in South Africa also in hindsight. You lost one series.
Yeah.
You lost one series in the cycle.
South Africa.
Look at it this way.
Yeah.
You won against Bangladesh, and
that was a
you
competitive
can laugh
series.
at Bangladesh, but they're a very, very good test team at home. That was again the first test match was superbly competitive. You won against Sri Lanka at home.
Yeah.
You won against New Zealand at home. So you've done remarkably well, and you beat Australia at home also.
Yeah.
Right? So in the same cycle, what did Australia do? By the way, how many overseas test series did they win? One.
Yeah.
Actually,
Against Pakistan. They did not win in that series in Sri Lanka. They drew it.
Yeah.
And then this other tour, away tour. I mean, there will be cycles when one team is playing more overseas test series than the other.
Yeah.
But exactly look at what happened to New Zealand. So I thought India were phenomenal. India were very good in the last cycle as well. Because then in the last cycle, you also could take into account the win in Australia.
Yeah.
And that emphatic series win against England. Those back-to-back series wins. So that's why it's much more pronounced.
You know, why I brought this up is, look at the standards that Virat Kohli's team has set.
Yep.
We have reached the
Test team.
final.
Test team.
Yes, test team. But we still don't get that satisfaction because we were not dominant enough. Right. According to me, as in we could have.
No, I know what you're saying, but a lot of people have actually asked that question, and that probably it's because it's a 2-year cycle. I mean, tournament, no sporting tournament in the world lasts for 2 years, so probably you could sometimes be hard pressed to remember, right? Yeah. Now look at how many of you would be able to answer questions from the previous cycle.
Yes.
And India, like I said, they were so good. They won in Australia. After that, they came back home and they won against England after losing the first test match.
Yes.
Before that, because of the pandemic, there was a long break, but that also included a test series in the West Indies because that cycle, remember, started from 2019.
Completely dominated West Indies in that
Exactly,
series.
and you were almost invincible on that cycle. And yet New Zealand, they reached the final largely because of that pandemic break and because of the percentage in points. India were under threat of missing out on the title clash, but they rallied to beat Australia in Australia. So it is a complicated cycle for a lot of people who want to go back. I mean, imagine you're talking of the final and you have to go back 2 years down memory lane to talk of what happened then and there. And finally, Australia did not play a lot of test cricket between that India series which they lost and the Ashes. I don't think they played. I mean, they must have gone. They went to England. Oh, sorry, again. See, that was in the last cycle. Yeah. So after 2021, after losing that series to 2021, they played the Ashes against England later that year. So there wasn't much test cricket. So I think New Zealand in the last cycle and Australia in this cycle were luckier than India to get into the finals. India have been very, very clinical.
Perfect.
Now it all comes down to the final.
Yeah.
But final? Seriously, who has the edge? I'll ask this to you for the second time in 2 days. And why?
I still believe India have the edge.
You still believe?
Yeah.
Why?
Raj, because of fired up unit that wants to win an ICC title, and because of Rohit Sharma, whose record has been good in England, because of what he has done. It's his first ICC final, and at this stage of the career, he's getting opportunities to win ICC titles. I think he'll be charged up. We all talk about how Rohit Sharma, he looks casual, he looks calm, composed, but he has that steely resolve. And a Virat Kohli who has been in good form, and a Shubman Gill who wants to prove that he is the next big thing. And don't discount the quality of our bowling attack. We have done well in those conditions. We have won the same oval test where Virat Kohli scored a 50 also. So I do think that India, based on what they have done in the recent past in England and based on the form that their batters are going in and the bowlers are going in, I do think they have an opportunity. But the one area of weakness I would say is that bowling combination, one extra bowler or the all-rounder and the wicketkeeper.
If you ask me...
You tell me, do you really think that this is India's title to lose? Because
it is India's title to lose, and I will give it mainly to what Australia have done against India in past 6, 7 years, 8 years. And more than that, if you look at the Australian team, there is a mental block against India. It has come down. When they played in India, when they played in Australia, it has been. And when you're playing in Oval, England, I don't think the English crowd and Indian fans are going to support Australia. It's not going to happen.
That's
That
a
the
very
crowd
important
support
point,
is going to be behind the Indian team. When you have superstars like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma coming in.
Exactly. And just before the Ashes, the English crowd, whoever managed to
I
get
think
in,
they'll be. I mean, it'll be interesting to see whether the England fans at all walk in to watch this match. I mean, the crowd support. You're right that it's very important. All in favor of India, mostly. I mean, imagine an Aussie crowd overwhelming an Indian crowd in England. I don't think, and that too. I mean, yeah.
in London, no
London.
chance.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. That'll be another thing we should be looking out for.
Yes, exactly.
But quickly before we wrap this up, two very nice, well-behaved gentlemen, Pat Cummins, Rohit Sharma, Rahul Dravid as coach. Very different from the era of Virat Kohli.
And also Andrew McDonald and Justin Langer.
Yeah, they are
Andrew
completely
McDonald and
different.
Justin Langer. Again, very, very contrasting characters. Nothing took away the sting of good competitive hard cricket from the BGT. I mean, yes, a lot of people could say it was boring because it was one-sided, but it was also, we keep on saying that, India-Australia test matches especially, can't be too friendly. I mean, so mostly you're battling, right? Will that affect the test championship final? The behavior and will the final affect the behavior? The pressure?
The other way around. I think the pressure of winning the final, the pressure of being there in the final, and India and Australia are unlike India and New Zealand. India and Australia, regardless how the BGT panned out, they are traditional rivals. And if there is a tense situation, a passage of play, I think tensions will flare up.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely. And if you look at the way things have happened, even in the IC tournaments, after the 2003 World Cup loss in the final against men's cricket against Australia, we played them in 2007 men's T20 World Cup. We defeated them. 2011 World Cup quarterfinal. We defeated them. We have not played them since. This is the first time we are going to play them in the final. So this WTC final is going to change the behavioral pattern of India versus Australia test matches. And I would definitely back whatever happens, Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma to finally win their first trophy as the coach captain duo of Indian cricket team.
Starter
First
for
IC
the
trophy.
ODI World Cup.
So short focus. You've already said India. You've said India. What happens if there is a draw?
Australia win it. Is that how it?
No, it's not there. I think they will share the
Share the trophy.
They share the mace, But nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. And I don't think it'll be a draw.
I think Virat Kohli deserves this World Test Championship.
Can I get carried away by my IPL prediction?
Predict. Okay, Raj, how many days? How many?
4 days.
4 days
of Test cricket. Okay. India winning this World Test Championship. Ravindra Jadeja man of the match.
You?
Definitely India winning the game.
Number of days.
5.
5 days.
India will win the 5 day. 5th day will be a tense day. I'm telling you. And it will be Pujara who will help us win this match. We'll chase down a total.
Perfect.
What do you think?
India 5 days. Virat Kohli man of the match for twin centuries.
Okay.
Okay, Raj. Does Virat Kohli deserve this IPL as an ICC title? IPL title.
Why
let's
just
not
Virat
talk about
Kohli?
it.
All of these guys deserve it.
Yeah, but for the way he has led the team, for the way he has
all these guys deserve it. I mean, you're not going to force me to say this only about Virat.
Yeah, this is a team game.
This is Virat versus Australia. No.
This is India versus Australia.
India's
Rohit
always
Sharma led India versus Pat Cummins led Australia.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we'll quickly wrap this up because we are also excited. There's a lot of anticipation for this test match, for this final, as you'd expect. And, this is always for our viewers and our
3:30
listeners.
start Indian time.
Exactly. Just a few hours from now. So, if you want to reach out to us, you can always email us on pods@indiatoday.com and ping us on 8588966996. And also, if you're consuming this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever it is, please rate us, leave your comments, and Akshay, Saurabh, and me will be back at the end of this test match, hopefully with something special to celebrate, India's first ICC title in 10 years. Do you even remember where you guys were 10 years back?
Yeah. School, rushed back from school, watched that. I was playing cricket in the afternoon and then I came back home and watched it.
Yeah. So that's how far back it was.
And if whoever wins, India or Australia, they'll become the first team to win IC trophies
in all
across
three
formats.
formats. Exactly. So that's history to be made. I mean, Australia, a more recent, They won the T20 World Cup much more recently.
Yeah.
But
Our World Cups came back many, many years back.
we will win this Test championship.
All right. Fingers crossed for an enthralling week of Test cricket. And please do join us back at the end of this week as we bring you more and more of the World Test Championship final. Where else but on the Sledging Group. Thank you.